Yeah, man, I'm late start, but I make gonna listen this now, see? Alright, the other day we have a debate about reggae music and to mash up what and you know, from Prime Minister come and say something, everybody jump on it and boom bam bam away. I say no, we want data for certain good things. I make sure tell them say, you know, listen me sight and sound powerful and sound alone. Because me look on games as simulator. Teach a lot of things. Cartoon out some of the wickedest thing. You understand? Even the primetime news, me tell you already. Right? Even primetime news or any one of them news there, it make you feel terrible because when you look now some people lost them loved one and them thing, then people have, you know, when you watch the news, it reflect back on something and when you see this, you say, alright, and revenge and all kind of thing. That's why I call for truth and conciliation at all time. Now, just a day or two ago, in the state this, we have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. You can hear when them charge them for attempted murder, you know, first degree and them thing there, you know, 12-year-old, you know. And you can hear when the sheriff, I play this because I go show it kind of say, you know. But when I see it there, so when I can go look it up, so I can play some things that I can hear or game. Or them kids that do so much things when they touch them game. Game is a powerful asset, you know. Powerful tool, you know. And like a stimulator because they're like Grand Theft Auto. It make kids kill them parents more than once. That's why you have to go and thief and all kind of things that you have them do it and them practice it out. So I'm going to play some things, make it hear now. And them call the little you 12. Can't ever see my two white kids. Think about diabetes and things and them have them not home. Say I hear one of them do. And you got hear. So I'm going to play it right now. And make you hear it. Terrible, man. Terrible. See? And we have to watch our kids them now with the game them. What them I play to, you know. We have to watch them, you know, because it's a serious thing. You understand? Very serious thing. I don't know, joke nothing. Alright, hear this. Hear this. Hear this.
First look at the 12-year-old boy who cops say opened fire at deputies along with a 14-year-old girl. Today he was in court, and considering his age, it's hard to fathom the charges he's facing. Many news outlets have decided to show his face, even though he's a minor, because of the seriousness of the incident and the...
I'll show a little glimpse of him. How many outlets right now them nobody show him? So it's a little glimpse of him. Only just listen, because I just show it a little glimpse. Saying? And the girl, because you hear what the cops them say. Saying? And it's very serious. Some very serious thing. It's a very, very serious thing. See? Hear this. Just listen.
Les Trent reports.
He looks like he could be in the principal's office for some silly prank at school. But this 12-year-old is in huge trouble with the law.
You're also charged with attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer.
Travis O'Brien and a 14-year-old girl are accused of opening fire on cops during a 30-minute shootout.
Gunshot fired, everybody get hard cover.
They were coming out to kill cops.
The 12-year-old did not speak during today's hearing, at which the judge referred to him as Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Cops say the boy and the girl ran away from a home for troubled youth. They broke into a house and found 2 shotguns, an AK-47, and a handgun. When cops arrived, the girl reportedly said to the boy, "I'm gonna roll this down like GTA," referring to the violent video game Grand Theft Auto.
You hear what she roll it down? Them in a place with somebody out and them break out. And she roll it down, she roll this thing like GTA, Grand Theft Auto. When you watch that game, it's so violent, it's unbelievable. They must say, okay, it's a game. So when we see a bother in our society, and they must say, bop, the kids, them, the online game, them, and some terrible things will go in your head. I'm going to play some other things for you to take in a consideration. Them knows the game violent. Them still make them game. Saying, but it's terrible. And it's like, it teach them off fire kite look like it. They make the people them look so real in the thing, you know. You run and you load gun and do everything. And them do it. Them do it. Listen.
Shooting out the rear window toward my direction.
Them are fire shot.
Deputies ducked for cover behind trees.
They just busted out the window in the back. Stand by. Female has a shotgun in her hand. Stand by. Put the gun down now! She's got the AK and a shotgun. She's wrapping around the top of her neck.
Then came the stunning realization that they were being fired upon by children.
Hey guys, just hold behind hard cover. Let's not shoot these kids, man.
That shoot.
Let's just hold on. Take our time. 10-4, they're shooting at me. She's re-racking around inside the shotgun. All right, let's not engage them anymore. Let's not
Don't
challenge
engage.
them. Just hold behind hard cover. We're just going to hang out here.
You can hear one officer praying it doesn't end badly.
Don't let me do this.
Don't let me do this.
Don't do this.
You can hear the restraint of the deputies pleading not to have to use their guns.
Cops say the girl, seen in this photo given to
So me show them before that she now. They look at touch her. You see them that look like and them a fire gun like wow, you know. You see how they? Our father get the photo up, you know. Yeah, our father got the photo, yeah? Yeah? Them make the headline. You see me outside? Them make the headline. Make sharp roll like the GTA. Grandfather. Because them breaking of the people in place and roll out and I beat this a beat. I mean, I play some other thing.
news media by her father, was shot and wounded when she refused orders to drop the shotgun and opened fire from behind a parked car.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 bullet holes.
30 seconds later, young Travis O'Brien came out of the house with his raised.
They shot through the bedroom window. They shot from the garage door. I mean, this is like Bonnie and Clyde.
Now these juvenile Bonnie and Clyde desperados have to face the music.
You're also charged with attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer.
You hear that? You hear that? Eh? Me I try to show and say, them, with for them game where them play. That's why you have to monitor the game where the kids them play, you know. And where them get, you know. See? I play and make on the ear next thing. I mean, that case, I finish it, because I play something where we want to hear the sheriff say. I play it through the big speaker. I just not show the video. And I play something on our ear while about the game. Them game here. Cars. Listen this.
In 2007, 16-year-old Daniel Petrick shot both of his parents over a disagreement about Halo 3. After his parents found out that he had purchased the game against their wishes, they took it away and locked it in the home safe. Daniel found the key to unlock the safe. Unfortunately, his game was right next to a gun. Reacting on impulse, Daniel grabbed the gun. He then snuck up behind his parents and said, "Would you close your eyes? I have a surprise for you." Then he shot them both, killing his mother and critically injuring his father. After Daniel shot both of his parents, he then put the gun in his father's hand so he could make it look like a murder-suicide.
And then you see it? Kid them, you know? You shot them and their father to them take out the game. And then put the gun in their father and make it look like a murder-suicide. Them father still go to court and try back him, you know? And then thing there, you know? You see me, I said, for game. Them kids are different, yeah?
As the police arrived on scene, they found Daniel trying to flee in the family van, with the Halo 3 game in the passenger's seat. Because of his age, Daniel could not have been given the death penalty. He was given life in prison, and won't be eligible for parole until 2032. In 2012, an 18-year-old only known as Chuang died at an internet cafe in Taiwan after reportedly playing the video game Diablo 3 for 40 hours straight. An attendant at the cafe found Chuang resting on the table next to his computer. The attendant woke him up. Chuang then stood up, took a few steps, and then collapsed onto the ground.
You see them, when them take them game very serious. You see me, I say? Very, very serious. See? Now, I'm making hear what the sheriff say about the case or that case, I just new case just happened now in like 2 days. 2 days ago. Monday, 2 days ago. See? And I'm making hear that, but I just go and play and show now the game, all them game are powerful. Sight and sound powerful than sound alone. I tell them, me not ask.
He was pronounced dead soon after arriving at the hospital. His death was due in part to a blood clot in his leg, presumably from sitting in front of that computer too long. Blizzard, the parent company over Diablo, released a statement that said, "We feel that moderation is clearly important, and that a person's day-to-day life should take precedence over any form of entertainment." A 17-year-old Philippine teen murdered his own grandmother after she interrupted his Dota match. The teen had been playing Defense of the Ancients in a neighborhood internet cafe. His grandmother, who told him not to play that game anymore, went to pick him up and return him to their home. When the woman began scolding him about the game, he alleges that he blacked out and beat his 68-year-old grandmother to death.
Yeah, the man, they look at you, they're wicked. Even the game just turn them into some monster, you see them there. Take it simple. I turn them into some monster. Them no, them still make it, them still sell it. But they make it, you have to just be careful that game them where you use them a play to, yeah?
The teen cleaned up the bloody crime scene and called his aunt, who then called the police. The victim was found with wounds on her neck, chest, head, and arms. Police officers also found blood-stained ceramic shards of what appeared to be a smashed vase in a garbage bin in the front yard. The grandmother, who had raised the boy since early childhood on her own, was killed because the boy wanted to play a video game.
Yeah, I'm telling about them thing, yeah. And a joke. Saying, yeah, be a black ivory son. Bless up, brother. Bless up, brother. Bless up yourself, yeah? You see them game thing, yeah? Sometimes I'm here, you know, when in our country, when them just come up with that thing where you know, say them just a fight against. Just get. And the things them with them for fight against are, them talk against, them not going to do it. Because they must say, okay, some big man hold them game and them thing. We're not going to talk about it. But the reality, it make them kill them people for it. In a Jamaica, who you see go around and kill them mother and them father because of reggae music. Just go kill them because you say not play reggae music and them thing there. Eh? In them country, them do killing. You say take with them game, them a kill you. You understand? And them no business, you grow them or not, them the ram. And the game make them do so much thing, because them a learn off of the game. Especially the Grand Theft Auto and some of them very violent man. And very bloody.
South Korean man Lee Seon-sop wasn't just an avid player of StarCraft, he was addicted to it. He let the popular real-time strategy game take control over his entire life. In 2005, he started spending all of his time playing the game, which cost him his job and longtime girlfriend. Lee would spend almost all of his money in an internet cafe to play it. He was used to playing 14 to 18-hour sessions, but when he started a 50-hour session, that was the end of his gaming days. At the end, he collapsed and died from exhaustion and dehydration. When it comes to games, there's a difference between healthy enthusiasm and an unhealthy addiction. In this case, the man's love for StarCraft consumed him.
Man can't have a game and sit down and play that for much hours. Yeah man, true love production. Yeah man, them not talk about games and them things there. You see them now. For them, I'm gonna show you something in our country. And I'm just a leader and lead by example. It's like this. Them come out and them see some man with some champagne in a prison. And when the man them have the champagne, the first thing them come out, the Prime Minister himself, you think them there and it's a holiday, I'm going to set for them and thing. And I say, then what when the look on the root causes. The root causes are them people there, them static in a prison. So anything we reach in a prison are the same water them are rich half it. Rich. Them are the business, them make people are dead. Them fear get charged for murder too. So if you're sending in a phone and the phone call it pass somebody head, them who did a work at the time, them you're dead today. Today the 10th of June. And here's a boom bam, I want to do an investigation. Oh, the call they did make from the prison, panda time, you just look one work. Them forget charged for it. And if you hold from the top, so you know, say the little small man go through, you know, just let him go. Everybody I get charged. Only if you stop the foolishness. So them blame the prisoner. Who them in there and them still run phone. You see do and them themselves now go to the root of the thing. The root of the thing of the water. If them wasn't criminal, them people wouldn't have these kind of things. And government you're smarter than that. So you don't know say come with proper prison, because them they can't rehabilitate nobody. Then there's some dungeon from way back when. Or below a long time, see? So you come with some things and it have telephone and all telephone, remember it hook up so it have tape. So you know who up on the end, they can get some other criminal off the road. So if a man have give you a code or talk to who, them have them phone call. Like same like in a foreign anyway, you get a phone call but you have to know you have because everything have a card. Simple. Instead of them have to have feed and I get cell phone from the same warden them. I sell them. When them ready, them break in and them take them and then sell them. Jamaica think back way, yeah? You understand? Why listen again?
17-year-old Warren LeBlanc of Leicestershire, England, got life in prison for emulating a death scene in a video game in 2004. The game in question? Manhunt.
Manhunt. And here what him do, 2004, here what him do? He might emulate. Let me tell you, it's a stimulator. So them emulate anything at all, them just want to act it out. Bring them a plate. And them want to use read human sacrifice because them a fire you load up and you see the real shot them a bus and out. It's a stimulator. Like when you do flying and then put them in a stimulator and them can put you anywhere where you fly one or you feel land and everything before you go fly the actual plane. Same thing, just that game.
Game was developed by Rockstar North. Armed with a knife and a claw hammer, Warren lured 14-year-old Stephen Pakira to a nearby park. He bludgeoned and stabbed the boy over 50 times until he died. In the trial, the mother of the victim was forced to leave the room as details of her son's horrific murder were explained to the court. At the end of the proceedings, the judge stated, "One thing is clear. You and you alone were responsible for this prolonged, vicious, and murderous attack on someone who thought of you as a friend."
Him friend. Thought of him as a friend. And him dry him out and him want to account the game by him. Over 50 stab. You see the kind of art where them create a beer man start create all over the place. But that don't mean to them throw them under the bus. Them try who them can't save, them try save and everything. Although them still press up the game. And then they make them run go and say me a banner, Grand Theft Auto. No, they make different version. And the government come with a stage and say, me do this and that. Them I tell you, so okay. And then try put things that you for try control the youth. Them try know if I give them and monitor them too, you know.
2013, an 8-year-old Louisiana boy intentionally shot and killed 87-year-old Mary Smothers, his own grandmother. The event happened only minutes after the boy started playing Grand Theft Auto. Authorities believe he intentionally shot Mrs. Smothers in the back of the head as she sat in her living room watching television. Family and friends of the victim have stated that the victim and the juvenile had a normal, loving relationship and even shared the same bedroom. The sheriff's department released a statement saying investigators have learned that the juvenile suspect was playing Grand Theft Auto 4 just minutes before the homicide occurred. The boy, now living with his parents, won't face charges. Under Louisiana law, a child younger than 10 is exempt from criminal responsibility.
You see them man younger than 10, play Grand Theft Auto and shot him gun in a head back and kill her. Just have to live with him parents. Better granny to make him stay with him parents in the first place. He might play Grand Theft Auto. And I show you for shot him have the gun and a real gun in the house. Then them place have real gun too, you know. They give them game, you know, like a stimulator and it'll show you for load the gun them. Put it magazine and everything. And them do it. See? And you have real gun in the house. Disaster.
18-year-old Devin Moore was actually arrested for Grand Theft Auto, not the game, the real-life crime, in 2003. While being processed at the police station, he lunged at one of the officers and grabbed his .40 caliber Glock. He shot him and 2 other police officers in the head as he made his way out of the station to then steal a police cruiser. Once caught and handcuffed, Moore uttered, "Life is a video game. You've got to die sometime." In the trial, his defense team tried to use the Rockstar game Grand Theft Auto Vice City as a scapegoat for the young man's violent acts. Ultimately, Devin was sentenced to death by lethal injection.
So here I'm saying it's a video game. So if you die sometime. So the police, somebody with him and him grab them gun like, same like Grand Theft Auto. You so much time Grand Theft Auto come up in this. Eh? It's a very violent game and some other games them very violent. See? Grab the police gun and shoot them. And go into the car and drive the same thing like Grand Theft Auto.
In 2014, an 11-year-old boy in the Philippines was stabbed to death by a 16-year-old male. Allegedly, the 11-year-old victim hacked into the older teen's online Dota 2 account. According to the family and police investigations, the victim was taken to a construction site where he was beat up by the suspect. His head was slammed on the walls repeatedly before being stabbed over 40 times. The 16-year-old suspect denied any contact with the victim. However, he was found with heavily blood-stained shorts and drops of blood leading up to his house. The stabbing was so horrific that the mother couldn't recognize her own son.
40 stab. Eh? Over a game. I tell you, so the game starts to cause so much of them things here. But you know, when the Prime Minister come talk, him if you have the evidence of some things. Because we have the video, we just play the audio. See? And the evidence of the thing with them documented and show you say, well, this are going with this and that are going with this. Not like that. But you just want to story up some people's head who, you know, them that do their own research neither. So when you do that, now you story up some people. It's a show off, you know, from the reality where I go on. See?
28-year-old Philadelphia man Tyrone Spellman beat his 17-month-old daughter to death in 2006 while playing the popular game Ghost Recon. His toddler crawled into the room and accidentally toppled over his Xbox, breaking it. In a fit of rage, Spellman repeatedly beat the child. Investigators contest that the child's battered body was then positioned next to a barbell in another room to make the death look like an accident. Spellman fled the scene but turned himself in the next day. Official autopsy reports indicate that the toddler's skull had been shattered and caved in by continued blows to the head. Spellman, who was a self-admitted video game addict, claimed that he did not intend to kill the child. He was sentenced to 22 to 45 years in prison.
No man, you should get like 1,000 years. Or some lethal injection, not a joke. You can't have your little baby who is 17 months old and come in and you play your little game and the thing drop off and you beat the child and mash up the child head to death. You can't catch a man. Eh? Nah man, this terrible man. You see it? It's so much of them, of them things I'm telling you when you watch them things, you know. You do your own research and watch them things, the game is very violent and it make people do a lot of things. Evil things.
In 2014, 12-year-old Peyton Leutner was stabbed 19 times and left to die in the middle of the woods. The culprits responsible for the attempted murder were two of Peyton's close friends, 12-year-old Morgan Geiser and 13-year-old Anissa Wire. The two girls were trying to please a fictional video game character, Slenderman. They thought that if they sacrificed a real person to him, he wouldn't haunt them or hurt their families. According to court documents, they told detectives they had been planning to stab her for months. Investigators discovered more than 60 drawings of Slenderman in Geiser's bedroom. One drawing depicted a girl lying on the ground and a person standing over her with the message, "I love killing people." Once the pair lured Peyton into the woods, one of the girls pounced on her and started to stab her repeatedly. During the entire ordeal, the victim was screaming in agony and saying, "I hate you guys. I'll never forgive you. I trusted you." Once the attack was over, the girls ran away. Miraculously, Peyton survived the attack and crawled her way to a nearby trail where she was discovered by a cyclist. Leutner has made an amazing recovery from the attempted murder, and as of this year, the girl who came within a whisper of death celebrated her 13th birthday.
This year, celebrate her 13th birthday. She get way. That's so. It's so game, you saw the game though. These are the things we are tell about. When we don't want no leader, our leaders them just come up with some little things, cause you know where joke upon poor people or something, and where you use rise out of the slum, them always attack it for them way, you know. And when them ready now, them wear clocks or wear what them do and people go, yes! And you say, okay, that means yes, you can't see the head where them are used by you. Them not really, them not genuine. Them not genuine. Everybody. I want to go put on clocks because you have some more clocks and things them put on for the sketch show. Poor people for rich or something else. But the real thing like this, when you do research for certain things and you watch certain things and you say, okay, this can be a problem and that can be a problem and this causing problem, them don't know that. Them just come with something and just fling it out there and everybody run with it. And then our media, as I said, our media, them don't really do, you know, investigative journalism. So them go along with, you know, government all the time for push down people. You know, especially, you know, people from the lower class, you know, so-called lower class. And make we hear where the sheriff has about the same little kid them, where them go on with, just listen.
FUMSH has been a problem since I've been the sheriff and probably beyond. We were there 289 times for calls for service in 220. We've been there 89 times so far this year. And the call was that a 12-year-old who is a diabetic and needs medication every 4 hours or so had walked off campus with the 14-year-old. We are investigating whether or not the 14-year-old struck a counselor on that campus who tried to follow them and stop them from leaving. Several times after 5 o'clock, deputies encounter them, and each time they run from the deputies. And at around 7:30 approximately, on the Osteen-Maytown Trail that runs behind the property, deputies are alerted to a young white male and a young white female who broke into a house.
You know, so they did kill a little black cute. Him have a little must say a tiger and then kill him. You know, no disrespect. But if them, because them see them, I feel if them black, you know, like, you know, where Yankee does I say. I feel like if them was some black kid, you know, get a chance, say, you run from deputy so long and them thing there, you know. Them find up something, you know. You understand? Them see it, you know. You see what I say? But look how them go and look how them arm up themselves, block all in a people house, man. And I roll like the grandfather. That the girl said to the 12-year-old, him have diabetes. Learn this. You see that door?
All right off the trail. Deputies go to investigate and they observe that windows are shattered. They look in and they then somehow are able to make contact with the owner of the property. They don't go into the property. That's something that I would have done. They don't, and thank God they don't. They contact the owner of the property. The owner of the property says, hey, I just left the house 15 minutes ago. Everything was intact. Nobody should be in my house. But be advised, there are 3 firearms in the house and there's about 200 rounds of ammunition in the house.
But so I have over 200 rounds of ammunition and 3 firearms. Yeah? And at that, they little youth them. Because them know for shoot gun, you know. May I tell you that? Them know for shoot gun, man. Yeah, man. But if you know, and something was frightening, like how we don't make it frightening at Jamaica. Like, no. Them build gun and you have some of them carry youth pan range and all kind of thing. And you see all them game thing and worries.
Deputies begin to keep eyes on. They call for more resources. They announce their presence. And in fact, they know that we're out there. And this goes on for a while. Because some of the body camera footage you'll see is from 7:30, quarter to 8. And then some of it you'll see is heat seeking from Air 1. And then some of it you'll hear the gunshots. You'll hear the voices of the deputies. And just to share the transmissions with you that we had transcribed, when the event starts, it starts at roughly 20:28, which is about 8:20 at night. Shots fired from inside the house. 2 minutes later, long gun pointed toward Alpha 40. A minute later, shooting out the rear window towards 40. 33 seconds later, shooting at Alpha 40 right now. Juveniles made verbal threats to kill LEO. At 20:41, juvenile female looks like she's loading another firearm. Oops. 20:45, both are hunkered down behind bed, both weapons pointed at the door. 20:54, so you have 9 minutes later, shots fired again. 20:54 and 41 seconds, juvenile male was shooting that time. 20:58, juvenile female has AKA and shotgun wrapping them around her neck. Juvenile male has pistols in his hand. They're heading toward the front. A minute and 32 seconds later, shots fired again. Juvenile female has pistol, juvenile male has long gun. And then the last transaction was 21:03, which was 9:3. Juvenile female pointing gun behind trash can. LEO shots fired. Juvenile female is down. Juvenile male back inside the house. At that point, I can't even tell you how proud I am of everything that went on with the deputies did. Their heroism, their supervision, their...
When I listen, the juvenile down, because she come out and a fire behind the car and thing out of the house and them take her down. But listen how them save her life, because we just show you. Listen how them police here, how them train and what with them about how them save your life. How police them train and run back.
Training, they were calling for tear gas. They were calling for any de-escalation tactic. They reached out to our juvenile justice coordinator to find out who they are. Could we get people on the phone to help us de-escalate? At one point, one of the sergeants got up to the window and threw their personal cell phone in and told them to answer the phone. We want to make contact with you. Nothing worked. And once she went down, and you'll see and hear this in the video, to watch the deputies transition after taking fire for 45 minutes or more, they then begin to administer CPR. They then put a tourniquet on. They're calling out a stage to get her out of there. Because if those of you saw the property last night, it's a pretty big property. We had everything shut down. And I believe in my heart she's still alive today because of the first treatment she received from the deputies. Obviously, she received great help in hospital care, but those deputies reacting as quickly as they could, hopefully have saved her life.
And everything stopped out.
To shed even some more disturbing light on this, we did get the question, the 12-year-old. And while he told us a lot of things, there are some things in here that we found extremely interesting, and I'll share them with you. He states that after they broke into the house and found some shotguns, handguns, and the AK-47, he then noticed the cops outside the residence while looking out the window. He advised that the 14-year-old made a statement, "I'm going to roll this down like GTA," referring to the video game Grand Theft Auto. He stated that the female fired multiple...
No, Larry, you see, you have two different things here, you know, because you think one way, we think out of the box, yeah? So, you are drive a car, we don't talk about if you are drive a Honda and the brand of the car and them things, they know. We are talking about a game, it's a simulator. You're not going to just run over somebody, if you not see somebody if you just run over them by purpose. If you do it by purpose, you're going to face this. See? But the Grand Theft Auto, you know, remember, in a teacher, if you just drive on the road for go buy where you buy, you go about your business, or you're on the road. It's a teacher for kill. It's a teacher for thief and kill. You shoot, you see people on the road, you shoot them. It's a completely different thing than what you want to compare yourself. So you have to think out of the box. So when I point out and something, you see these are the smart thinking where you might have come with, but out of the box thinking we are talking about. So I don't like you have a car because you use a car. Car can kill. But you use a car for leisure and go your work and do your thing and do your business. Now somebody run across the road, you might have to hit them down. If you take your car, like the guy in a Canada run on the sidewalk with the van where he rent and you have to go to prison. You take it and you run, you have it for go drive. If you walk or you reach 1,000 miles and 2,000 miles. That's why we have transportation. We never make it for use it for go kill. It's you can go or you reach school because we have school buses and all kind of things. Different thing. So you build a game. You have some nice game where you can build and whatever, but you have Grand Theft Auto. It's not tell about no love and save the life. It'll show yourself a kill. You just see people on the road and shoot them. And change and then wrap some vehicle and then run again and shoot. And shoot have a police when them come and then go in our next vehicle, you slam lick off people off a road and do all kind of things. So it'll teach you for commit crime. So you know, I say, hey, if you drive a car and lick down somebody, you don't blame that. That come on, man. Come on, that light. That's why my platform, I think, out of the box, you know. We teach people out of the box better. See? We have plane, if it drop, it coming like a bomb. But what we use plane do? It's different from our plane we fly. We have passenger plane. I don't like it won't drop out of sky. See? But it fly for carry you and make the world smaller. Like we're intertwined because one time you used to sail ship. Or you go cross our ocean. We used to have ship. But it might take a couple of months. You have plane about 600 miles per hour, 500 miles per hour. You reach London in 8.5, 9 minutes, 9 hours from Jamaica. See? One time you have to take months. See? That means a plane can't drop out of the sky. But not intentionally. Maybe them intentionally. Maybe them do something and them not service it right and it drop and it kill some people. Or drop on some house and do something. And they have some weapon of mass destruction. Like when you see them make a mass destruction and take your life same time, boom, boom, boom. It's a different thing that completely what me I talk about. Me not talk about no car. Come on, man. We don't do things and talk things for show off what we are talking about. See? People would say, that's what I like when people, you see, instead of me make a statement, let me tell you with me, instead of me make a statement and it don't make no, see, they make a boat all night, don't make no sense. I better me no bother say nothing at all. And try to understand what we are get at. You have different games. We have Farmville, where you trade some little things, and like when you have Mario, and you play the little Mario game, them can't pass that long time. I'll be a gun and be a sitting and it'll show you and the blood that's flat out. You have some like sniper. You stay and sniper a man from where or far and you sniper them. And when you look, them brains are bust up and everything. Them give me a teacher for kill. And nothing else. And then them stuck on it. That's why you said the girl, she carry her friend for to stab her up. You understand? Because that teacher for kill. Grand Theft Auto, you them just talk about it there again. See? So we not what we are talking about car and if you blame under, you can blame this or you can blame the driver. Come on now. If you make a game for just the purpose of a game for just kill and rob, what you think it do? It lead up to things like this because I just kill and be a rob. So that it do nothing good and something for uplift you. Them have game will teach about love and all kind of little things and help people cross road and things. But them not do these things. No, because they want something where they more sell and make money. But at the same time, you have some kid where just go bizarre, just mash up the place when them get all them things. Them want to test it. Who them want to test it upon them friend? People near them like when them hold the girl and stab her up and them things because them watch these things and them say, okay, Slenderman, me have to go make some stab up and do all kind of little things. See? Them make them give me for kill. Grand Theft Auto, just go look on it. I don't know, it have nothing beautiful about it. It's not about no love or nothing at all. It just show if you go and rob. People are walking, you shoot them and they head back. Me know the game. You run this, you go in a car, you run out a man out at something, this, so you see police are come and shoot half of them there, who are coming in, you go in a car, you look at somebody and take the next vehicle and go crash that right, that half and a run. You just a kill, just straight killing. See? I know something good that man. You understand? So you know put the car in that position that we know what we use car for. Make the world smaller, make you can't go your work and you do it and kind of little thing. Somebody across the road, that's why we call it manslaughter because no intentionally. See? But if you intentionally you say right and you just a woman, you use the vehicle and go mow down people, then you can get the kind of murder charges because it can use as a weapon. But most people are drive the car, them just drive them can't protect them vehicle and go home and go about them business. They want to take bus and go have train if it can't kill, plane can't drop. But it used to transport. It's just simple, just used to transport. You understand? You see what I say? So no, but we're not stray, what may I say? We're not stray from what we are say about like what you just said about the car. I think you know what we use car for. But them come with the game like what them change it up. We have enough things what we used to play and Mario and the little racing thing and that alright. And you have game a teacher for all drive. And them thing there. Them use a stimulator like what them have for play and thing. Them don't want that. Them want to go in a deep in depth. And you say and them game they sell enough. The destruction game them sell enough. Because man had just send on destruction, you know. You understand? So them kind of game they know it sell X amount. You see me I say? It sell X amount and a joke, a serious thing. See? A man just get up and just say, and I give them a want. And then you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that they start move. See? Start move and then they might get more real, like a real people you shoot. And so the blood splat and when the bullet are going, when you look at a close up on the bullet, just a spin and lick a man and they just bust it up. See? Man, and them come and practice a real thing. See? Yeah man, and them use them thing as stimulator. You understand? See like a police are train and them have something when I train and thing come up so and them a shoot. Them use them as stimulator, that me I tell you. You understand? So them are more and more of them kind of thing because people train off of them thing. No joke about it. You see me I say? Yeah man, the graphics them, they come with some graphics that look more real. Real graphics. And I like first time when you would have, like, you know, when the game them just are coming, we have, in the G, you know, we have 1G and 2G, we have some little 3G, we have some little stick thing, and some black and white, some snake thing, we are going to the little snake thing, so but I do some black color thing there, you know, like black and white sitting and thing now. Them can come with real thing, because them are step up in the technology, phone technology and everything. So them just come with some real games and thing, where you can play, download on all your phone. So that like first you just buy the game box and everybody can afford a game box. So it depends on your phone and you just go online and get the app and try it down and run some things by your phone. They're terrible now, man. I go into them head, man, and when them stuck up and all them game thing now, man, it's like, it's addictive. Bad. You see me I said, you can imagine a 12-year-old and she said make a roll like the GTA and then look how much of them do killing to the same thing. You understand? There, you know, keep it real, you know. Lonesome up. Keep it real. Yeah? Yeah, man, cool.